Hey guys, John Engel here, and today we're going to figure out why my BMW sounds like a waterbed. And it shouldn't, and there's no reason that there's so much water in here somewhere. Anyway, let's find out. Okay, so I've noticed this problem, and it really happened after we got quite a few downpours. The BMW sits outside. I really thought that it was kind of behind where the convertible top goes into its little holder, and there's some drains down there, and I was trying to figure out if I could get the water out of there. So far, I've not been successful. However, I did find out that somehow water can get into the frame of the BMW, and there's one way to get it out, and that requires me to drill it. Now, before I go and drill it, I would like to try to capture some of the sound of the water sloshing back and forth. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this, but I'm going to do a few different takes of me stopping and then accelerating, and that usually is what makes water slush around, right? So you should be able to hear it. So I'm going to take my microphone right before I come to a stop here. I'm going to put it close to here, where I think it is. I hope that you guys are hearing this, because this is ridiculous. I mean, listen to it. This is not me joking around. I am not adding sound effects. Listen. Okay, so we're back at the house. As you can tell, I've got the BMW ready to go. We're gonna drill into that frame rail. I've got the jack ready, I've got drill bits, and I've got a drill. So I think everything is ready. Let me jack it up and then I'll show you underneath. Okay, so the first thing I did was chalk the wheel, and then I went ahead and jacked it up, as you can tell. And then I also have a jack stand underneath it. But our attention is going to come down to this side. Let's go down there and take a look. Okay, so we're underneath the car, and this is the rear tire. And then as we move along, this is kind of where the frame rail starts, and this is where I'm thinking the water is. Now, they have this wonderful thing here, and you can actually see where there's some water dripping out of there. It's just not dripping out quick enough right there. And they also have that wonderful puck right up there where I jacked it. But this one is where we're going to drill through the frame. Oh, look at, oh, that is amazing. All right, I think we found our water. So, next step, drill the block. Okay, so here's the block, and you can see it's dripping because I keep playing with it, and the more I play with it, the more water comes out. So at least the good news is we found where the water is and we can stop the slushing. Now, the bad news is if I drill through this, I'm gonna get soaking wet, but I can just play with the block and it pretty much comes out. So I might not need to actually drill it, though my camera's getting wet. How much water do you think is actually in there? I've got an idea. I can go get a screwdriver, stick it in there, and then it'll hold it open where I don't have to hold it. Let's try that. Okay, I got the camera out of the way. Would you look at that? Look at that! Would you look at it? Just look at it. Look at it. Would you look at it? Would you look at it? Them some dirty wheels? I'm sorry. You don't have to tell me. And I got some screwdrivers, and as you can tell, once you get this thing going, it just starts dripping. It basically broke the seal. So now I'm just seeing if I can wedge a screwdriver underneath it so I don't actually have to hold it like that. So you do get a little wet during this process. How long is this going to drain for? We're about to find out. At this point, we are 8 minutes into this, and I cannot believe that it's still draining. I'm actually getting very bored watching this happen. I'm going to remove the jack stand, lower the jack down so that any of the water that's in there getting pushed away will come out, and then hopefully we'll be done. Super simple, just stuck some screwdrivers right in the sides to open the gap up so to let the water out. Let's see what happens when I lower her down. Well, that looks like it about does it. I can remove my screwdrivers, and hopefully the next time I go to take the BMW for a ride, it doesn't sound like a waterbed. I don't know how BMW engineers can get away with something like that. They also have a terrible job with the well for the actual convertible top. They put the hydraulic motor in the well. It fills up with water. The motor then fills up with water and goes bad, and they're not cheap to replace. So far, the water integrity of these cars is terrible, but it's still a fun little car. It still drives. Everything works fine. So I'll keep her around for a little bit longer, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing, 4 gallons of water come out of the frame of the car. If you did, make sure that you subscribe, share the video, like the video, leave me comments, and like always, we'll catch you next time.